Hi, Nance. Hi, guys.
All right. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom,
Thank
Rabbi.
you, Nancy. Thank you. Should we try a more robust Shabbat shalom? Okay. Shabbat shalom. Thank you. I also felt that too from this beautiful. We are very happy to be welcoming in this Shabbat with all of you. We're going to start. Cantor, what are we starting with?
We're going to start just with a nigun version of Ahina Matov that we're going to do a little bit later. By a little bit later, I mean in like 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes.
Okay.
One we've done in the past. This is, but it's new-ish. So.
On Shabbat, we get a chance both to reconnect with ourselves and also a chance to reconnect with one another. And I see some new faces who are here, I think, to celebrate someone who tomorrow will be called to the Torah as B'nai Mitzvah. And so in the meantime, want to invite you, will you find someone you have not met before in this space, or maybe someone you haven't seen in a little bit, and just introduce yourself and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. You can even get up. Well, we're going to come back together. We're going to now add the words that we just did, which is words of welcome. Hine matov mean how good and sweet it is that in this world, in this city where we can feel so far apart from one another, that we get to come together as souls and bring in this light and this hope that Shabbat offers us. So we're on page 10. Page 10.
Umanayim, Umanayim, Shevet Achim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad, Gam Yachad, Hine Matov, Umanayim. like, next part goes like this. How good it is to be together. Try that. How good it is to be together. Listen. Together as one in love, joy, and laughter. Together as one in love, joy, and laughter. Listen. How good it is to be in this moment together. Kulanu beyachad. So that last part. How good it is to be in this moment together. Kulanu beyachad. All together. Hine mato umanai shevet achim gam yachad. Hine mato umanai shevet achim gam yachad. How good it is. How good it is to be together. Together as one in love, joy, and laughter. How good it is to be in this moment together. Kulanu beyachad. So I grew up at a synagogue very close to here, very short distance, Temple Emmanuel of Beverly Hills. And I always loved it. Once a month, they did a service called Shabbat Unplugged, which I'm sure maybe some of you have been to. And it's a really beautiful experience. And one of the things they do very differently than other weeks is the rabbi says, we take this moment now to have what's called Chazarat HaShavua, where we get this opportunity to look back at our week and to really acknowledge that it happened, that maybe there were things in our week that we would like to not have happened, or maybe there are things that we were really happy that happened. But it is an opportunity to say, the week was there, we had it, it experienced it, but now it's Shabbat. Now we have a moment to just experience this moment, this beautiful, never before had moment. Every Shabbat is different and new and beautiful, and I think sometimes we don't necessarily take as much of an advantage of it as we could. And so we allow ourselves, even for just this hour of our service, to be in this present moment, to feel the love around us, to feel the holiness of this moment. And so I want to give you all an opportunity for just 30 seconds. I know 30 seconds of silence can sometimes feel very daunting, but allow yourself to just sit and recognize the week that was and acknowledge where we are now, and then say, wow, I'm looking forward to the week that's to come. So we'll take a moment now for Chazarat HaShavua. Enter into our Kabbalat Shabbat with Yedid Nefesh on page 10. ידיד נפש, אב הרחמן, אב הרחמן, משוכבתך אל רצונך, אל רצונך. ידיד נפש, אב הרחמן, אב הרחמן, משוכבתך אל רצונך, אל רצונך. ירוץ עבדך כמו אייל, ישתחווה אל מול הדרך. ידיד נפש, אב הרחמן, אב הרחמן, משוכבתך אל רצונך, אל רצונך.
We'll continue Kabbalat Shabbat on page 20 with Lecha Dodi. We'll be doing verses 1 and 2 on page 20, and then we'll jump to 21 with verses 5 and 9.
Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני שבת מקבלה. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, פני
bottom of 21, we rise and face the entrance.
בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצור עולם. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
We'll continue with our call to worship, the Baruch Hu. It is on page 28, and we'll continue standing.
Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai 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 lai, yai lai lai. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. יאי לי 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 לי, יאי לי 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 לי.
This is a reading called Twilight People. As the sun sinks and the colors of the day turn, we offer a blessing for the twilight. For twilight is neither day nor night, but in between. We are all twilight people. We can never be fully labeled or defined. We're many identities and loves, many genders and none. We are in between roles at the intersection of histories, or between place and place. We are crisscross paths of memory and destination, streaks of light swirled together. We are neither day nor night, we are both, neither and all. May the sacred in-between of this evening suspend our certainties, soften our judgments, and widen our vision. May this in-between light illuminate our way to the God who transcends all categories and definitions. May the in-between people who have come to pray be lifted up into this twilight. We cannot always define, we can always say a blessing. Blessed are you, God of all, who brings on the twilight. We'll continue with our words of Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
It is our honor to call up Lily. You can use mine. Lily, who is going to lead us in the Via Hafta. Tomorrow, Lily is going to be called to the Torah. And we're all very blessed. You don't know this. You might not know this yet. Lily's family definitely knows this about them, but you are all very blessed to get to be a little part of Lily's celebration because this truly is a very special soul. I know, sorry, big introduction, Lily.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם ושבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
You can clap for Lily, yes. We are going to be with Lily tomorrow morning, and we look forward to praying with you. We're going to continue. We're on page 39, and let's read together at the top of the page. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. We are on page 40. Nora tehi In a moment, we'll turn to our nighttime prayer, the Hashkivenu, which can be found on the bottom of your supplemental pages, the bottom right. And I spend a lot of time with small children, as many of you know, and what I love about them is they are so willing to share, sometimes really share, the feelings that are inside of them. And one of those feelings that often comes up is fear. They're willing to share and say out loud when they feel afraid or scared. And to me, this prayer is our tradition's invitation that we two adults, we also get to share when we feel afraid, that sometimes this world, sometimes our lives can feel pretty scary. And we don't always feel with our armor on like we're able to share that openly with the people we love, certainly with strangers. And when we join together in the Hashkivenu, it's saying it's okay to be afraid, and then it gives us this vision of God, or whatever you believe is bigger than you, just enveloping you in that feeling of comfort and safety and love, whatever it is that you hold on to. It invites us to bring that along with us. So we'll join together in Hashkivenu, praying for our ability to share what's going on inside of us, and also that we might have a kinder and more loving world to welcome us.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom, Lishalom, Ve'ha'amidenu Malkeinu Lechaim, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha, Ufros Aleinu Sukkot Shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen.
We'll invite those who are able to please rise on page 46.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai Tiftach. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai Tiftach. Ananananana ufi agi teilatecha.
Page 48.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Vekonei Hakol Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot Umevi Geula Livnei V'neihem Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen Baruch Atah Adonai Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah Ata gibor leolam Adonai Mechaye hakol ata Rav lehoshia Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem Mechalkel chayim bechesed Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim Umatir asurim Umekayem emunato Lishenei afar Michamocha ba'al givurot Umido melach Melech memit umechaye Umatmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye hakol Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh
Ukdoshim
Kol yom Yehalelucha selah Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el hakadosh.
We'll continue in silence, praying the Amidah through page 62, or taking time for your own quiet prayer, and you can be seated whenever you're ready.
Be the light inside the darkness, be the hope, burning bright into the night, be the voice, for those who cannot raise it, be the one who leads the way, through the world's darkest days, be the light, be the light, be the light. sorry. The miracle of change begins with sparks of light we find within that shine. That shine. Be the light. Be the light inside the darkness. Be the hope burning bright into the night. Be the voice for those who cannot raise it. Be the one who leads the way through the world's darkest days. Be the light. 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 Be the light.
You did great. We're going to be the light. You did great. You did great. You did great. Carly had been estranged from her mom for many years. They shared perfunctory birthday phone calls, sometimes even a holiday card or two. But for all intents and purposes, they'd stopped being mother and daughter. Instead, their relationship had lapsed into something else. Two overly cordial strangers, distant from one another and from their lives, distant from their successes, from their yearnings. The resentment and the hurt from the past clouded any effort to rekindle a real relationship. And now, as Carly's mom sat in the hospital with only a few days remaining in this world, Carly realized that she needed to be there. Too many of us know some version of Carly's story in which rupture has taken place in a family, with children, with siblings, with parents. Sometimes the rupture happens for good reason, and sometimes for reasons that we don't even remember. For family, as we know, can be complicated and messy. And this time of year with the holidays and the secular New Year around the corner, the fracture, as quiet as it may be, can become quite a bit louder. And unfortunately, the longer a rift exists, the harder it seems to mend. Our tradition understands how difficult it can be to repair a fractured family, and so our parasha this week, Vayishlach, invites us into perhaps one of the most fractured families of all, that of Jacob and of his brother Esau, and in so doing, reminds us of the precious possibility of repair. After 20 years abroad, Jacob finally returns home to the land of Canaan. En route, he sends messengers to inform his estranged brother Esau of his return. This is the first time that the Torah mentions Esau since Jacob had left Canaan, after discovering that Jacob had deceived their father in order to steal his blessing and his birthright. Esau had vowed to kill Jacob for his treachery. And now, decades removed from this bitter disappointment, Jacob sends word to Esau that he's returning. His messengers come back with news Esau is arriving to meet him with 400 men in tow. Frightened, indeed, Jacob prepares an elaborate succession of gifts for Esau, and he divides his family into separate camps. But before he can join them, an Ish, presumably a man, confronts Jacob and wrestles with him throughout the night. When he asks this unnamed Ish for a blessing, it names him Israel, claiming, Sarita im Elohim ve'im anashim v'tuchal. You have struggled with beings both divine and human and have prevailed. Jacob himself believes that he wrestled with God, naming this site Peniel, the face of God. And the Midrash later claims that this unnamed Ish is Esau's guardian angel. However, I, along with other commentators, like to think that Jacob is in fact wrestling with himself, that he's engaging in his own inner struggle and reflection so that he may be prepared to face his brother with honesty and with clarity. Only by undergoing his own transformation can Jacob confront his brother and accept whatever outcome may unfold. For as the modern Jewish philosopher Martin Buber teaches, all conflicts with others may be viewed, in fact, as conflicts with ourselves. Buber asserts that we must first address the conflict in our own souls so that afterward we're able to enter into a new, transformed relationship with others. He, quoting Rabbi Simcha Bunim, takes this even a step further. For, he says, when a person has made peace with themselves, they will then be able to make peace in the whole world. And so only by identifying and navigating this inner conflict can Jacob face his brother and resolve this tension with Esau. And so the next morning, when Jacob sees Esau approaching him from a distance, accompanied by these 400 men, he courageously walks ahead to meet them, bowing low to the ground 7 times as he approaches his brother. And Esau, in return, runs to greet Jacob and embraces him and kisses him on the neck, and they both weep together. For the first time, we witness Jacob approaching a challenge with integrity, refusing to run, refusing to deceive or betray. Instead, he comes to Esau with nothing more than humility, bowing repeatedly in an unspoken apology for all that he took from the brother that he betrayed so long ago. And Esau, poised to fight with an army of hundreds, responds by racing to greet his brother and embracing him. A moment of possible confrontation instead becomes one of reconciliation because Jacob and Esau find the courage to be vulnerable in order to pursue the possibility of repair. And if these two brothers can embrace the capacity, perhaps we can as well. The well-known psychologist and parenting expert, Dr. Becky Kennedy, defines repair as the act of going back to a moment of disconnection and taking responsibility for your behavior and acknowledging the impact it had on another. She makes it sound quite simple, but repair isn't just an apology. It's an intensive process, one that requires us to examine ourselves, to find that courage to be vulnerable, and then to open ourselves to the possibility for change. Just as Jacob had to wrestle with his Ish, to wrestle with this deceit and the lasting harm that he had caused his brother and take responsibility for it before he could engage with Esau, so too must we wrestle with the role that we played in our frayed and broken relationships before striving for repair. And even then, we know that repair isn't magic. It doesn't always end the way that we would like it to. At the end of their reunion, Esau offers to continue the journey with Jacob with the hope of forging a new relationship. Let us start on our way. I will go at your side, says Esau. But Jacob has a different plan. Let my Lord go ahead of my servant, Jacob humbly responds. As for myself, let me proceed on my way at my own pace. Perhaps this is Jacob's way of saying another hard truth that he can't quite muster yet. That while the anger and the fear that separated them may have dissipated, Jacob might not be ready or even interested in an ongoing relationship with his brother. Yet, their reconciliation offers new possibilities for who they might become as leaders and as parents and even as brothers. This deeply human story from our tradition calls upon us to consider what relationships in our lives require repair. Perhaps we have a sibling or a parent or a child or a friend who we've become distant from, and the years and the hurt have kept us apart. Perhaps that relationship is not meant to be mended. Some breaches create permanent ruptures. But for others, our tradition beckons us to even consider the possibility. For as Jacob and Esau discover, it's never too late to seek repair. And that repair doesn't just restore our broken relationships, it restores us too. For Carly, repair meant being present with her mom when she died. It meant surrounding her with family during her final days, and even exchanging with one another a real expression of their love. Carly's still wrestling long after her mom's death with the limitations of their relationship, grieving not just for her mom, but for the relationship that she wished she'd had with her. But as Jacob and Esau discovered, repair doesn't always mean a perfect ending. But there was a connection, one that changed each of them before the end, and one that's left Carly, and maybe us, changed even now. Shabbat shalom.
As we enter into the holidays, during a time when being alone for people who maybe are either struggling physically or emotionally or spiritually, we have the capacity within us to reach out to those people, to be their ish, their angel, their person, to reach out and say, what can I do for you? Or how are you doing? And a phone call can even change their whole perspective of that day. So we have an opportunity now to share the names of those in our midst who are in need of that healing, be it of body or of mind or of spirit. So if you are thinking of someone today, I invite you to share their names out loud so that we can hold them all in our hearts. I'll begin on this side. Yeah. Thank you. Take all of those names into our hearts as we join together in our Misha Berach. You can find the words on page 253. Misha Berach Avoteinu Mikol blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishe Berach Imo the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We'll join together in the Aleinu prayer on page 282. And again, if you're able, we'll invite you to please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
Words to prepare us for Mourner's Kaddish on page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love does not die. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. On this Shabbat, we especially remember Marissa Murto, sister of LBT member Michelle Lakier, whom death has taken from us recently. And we link her name with Leslie Revy, Lee Raymer, Albert Friedman, Edgar Aberman, Martha Fetchheimer-Bierman, Julius S. Bendat, Norman Breslow, Annette Korn, Lottie Fetchheimer, Irving Felder, Annette Levine Fritz, Magda Hegesy, Michael Shaw Jacobs, Stuart Kaland, Ralph Kopelov, Juliet Lieber, David Lovner, Jacob Remus, Pearl Guinness Ribbit, Doris Rosenfeld, Alice Stoller Scott, Jay Silvershire, David Sirota, Ken Touchman, Audie Windmuller, and Lillian Yalowitz. If there are other names that we should add, I'll invite you to do so at this time. We also think of all of those who have died as innocent victims of violence here in the Middle East and in corners of this world that all too often go unnoticed. We'll join together in the words of Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 294, and invite you, if you're able, to please rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yamad divrach ereteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach leolam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudasha barechu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, ta'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru.
Amen.
Amen. Zichronam livracha. May their memory be a blessing to all of us.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Mazel tov, Lily.
Yay, yay.
And we hope to see you all for a pre-Hanukkah, but Hanukkah Shabbat service next Friday night. Next Friday night. We hope to see you here and wish you all a restful and peaceful Shabbat.